Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, October 28th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. Okay, looks good. Now let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so as people start to join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. All right, down to the 4 hour. Down to the 2 hour. Down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 30 minute. Down to the 15 minute. Down to the 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute. All right, looks like we are good to go. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, October 28th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is currently at 42,553. And the closest level below is currently at 42,531. This one's probably going to get hit here, well, it already did. So this little one here got hit already. The next level below is pretty far down. So the next lower level of liquidity is currently at the 403 mark down here, 42,403. So with that said, I don't think, okay, so there's upper liquidity over here. It's at the 811 mark. It's currently lined up with the New York high and the London high. And down below here, the next level is at the 283 point. So we're pretty far from like next liquidity. The closest level of liquidity is really just the one above right here. It's about like 20 points away. So, all right, guys, looks like majority of you guys are here so far. Let's see who's here. Morning, Johnny. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Maria. Morning, Jamie. Morning, everybody. Looks like we're about ready to kick off this week. It is NFT week, guys, so expect some volatility. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more direction compared to the past 2 weeks. As you guys know, the past 2 weeks have been very choppy. It's a lot of sideways movement. So I'm hoping this week more volatility will pick up and we can continue on with this trading week. So this is also the last week of October. and we'll see how this here will play through. All right, looks like we are good to go. So market's going to open up shortly in about 4 minutes, guys. In about 3 minutes, I'll post up the direction of the breakout in the Zoom chat. Hey, on. Morning. Welcome. Kenny, how's it going? All right, good to see you here, Kenny. I haven't seen you here in a while. So let's see. Today's breakout. Hey, Glenn, morning. All right, guys. So market's going to open up in about 3 minutes. In 2 minutes, I'll be posting the direction of the breakout. As you guys know, I'll post the direction of the breakout, but pay attention to the charts here because if the price moves past the threshold of 50 points, then we will be taking the opposite direction. So just keep that in mind, guys. Lately, for the past 2 weeks, we've been having a huge candle in the 629-minute candle, and it causes a lot of overextension right before market open. So see. We got market opening up in about 2 minutes. So in about a minute, guys, I'll have the direction of the breakout. So in about 30 seconds, we'll have the direction. ATR is currently at 9 right now. This upper liquidity just got triggered. Right. All right, guys, direction of the breakout's been posted in the chat. So we'll see how big this candle here moves. I think either way, we'll be taking the other direction. All right, we got market opening up in about 30 seconds. Twenty seconds till market open. We got market opening up in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is open. All right, guys, so we took the breakout there. Breakout's currently running right now.
Order filled.
And the slippage has been getting me like pretty bad lately. I don't know, the volatility right on open's always been kind of off. Let me just make some adjustments here. It's only off by a little bit. All right, got that running right there. All right, so let this kind of play through. Yeah, we'll come back and take a look at this a little later. So breakout's currently in profit right now. Went over here to our clean chart. Price is currently below the sessions. It's currently in an area of manipulation because it's currently at the sessions right now. So I'll have to kind of let's see how it plays through. around this area. Opening price marked up right there. Here's our clean chart. Mark up some levels here. So price is like kind of ranging between these two areas again. Again, today there's just not very much direction. Um, I'm hoping it picks up as we get closer and closer to later in the week, of course. I think we have some news today. I'll check the calendar real quick. So let's see, looking at the calendar for today. We have news at 7:30. We have Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Some medium impact news. There's not really too much today. Looking on Tuesday over here, we have some news as well. We have good trades balance, JOLTS job openings. Wednesday, we have ADP employment change, GDP growth rate. The big news events happen on Thursday, Friday, of course. So on Friday over here, we have all the inflation news, PCE price index, year over year, month over month, personal spending, personal income, jobless claims, continuing jobless claims, and then of course on Friday, NFP. So got a lot of stuff coming up later into the week. If this moves kind of similar to the last NFP, it was kind of slow, I think, the first couple of days, and then it picked back up. So looking over here at our clean chart, price is currently at this upper level of range. It's at the 600 mark. So we'll see if price fakes out right here and then pulls right back into the range below. That's typically what happens when price kind of gets pushed up a little higher. So here's the SR chart. Go up to the 10-minute. Identify some structure here. If you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, you look for price to kind of come down and retrace and shoot back up. What I would look for here is I'd look for price to actually confirm first. So look for that first bounce. And then once you have that first bounce, then maybe look for the next bounce because it just doesn't look like there's going to be very much clear direction here. So here's the SR chart. Let me mark up some zones here. Yeah, there's not really too many zones here. Again, today's Monday, so on Monday, there's a lot of like the market's kind of just warming up for the week. So you might get like some back and forth movement for today. All right, so we got the zones right there marked up. Let's go down to the 1 minute. No, there's not really much around this area because price is in like sort of a new area right now. It's just kind of out in the open. We have a 15-minute chart right here. And right here. All right, so let's go back to the 1 minute. So this is the SR chart that I just drew up right now. This is currently the range. This is the 15-minute support resistance around this area. And it looks like it might just kind of sit around this area for now. Here's the clean chart. Again, price is at that whole number, the 600 mark. Here's our main chart. Like I said earlier, you probably want to wait for that test first before you look for any entries. So the entry would happen right here at the 580 mark if you're looking to take market flow V2. So it looks like pricing gets stuck around this area. I'd be careful if you're looking to take some market flow V2s because again, like I said, this here might just fake out That's typically what happens around these areas. Price kind of gets overextended a little bit, fakes out right here, and then pulls right back into the range. If it's the same thing that's been happening for the past couple of weeks, this is typically what happens. Fakes out, then it comes right back down. Let's see. Stanley said his TV is way off. Check right here, Stanley. If this here isn't green and it doesn't say market open, you might be delayed. So it might be yellow and it might say market delayed by 10 minutes. If it's way off, you're probably delayed by 10 minutes. So you have to either log into your Apex onto your trading view to have the current data, or you have to have the data on your trading view. For me, I pay for the data in two places. I pay for the data here on trading view because I have multiple charts open. And then I also have it on Apex, or on the account at least. So again, if you guys are looking to take market flow V2s, the entry is going to happen right here at the 42,600 mark. But you want to be careful with the entry. Like I said earlier, it's typically what happens around this area is a fake out and it pulls back into the range. And there's not really a confirmation of direction yet. I mean, there is some direction here, but I probably wouldn't trust it because it looks like price here is starting to go sideways. So it starts to go sideways like this, it typically starts to prepare for a breakout. So I'm expecting if it goes sideways here, it's going to break out either to the bottom, right back to opening price, or it's going to break out to the upside. Ideally, it'll probably break out to the downside though, because it looks a bit overextended right here as price pushed up. Here we go, this price starts to climb back down. All right, so now we're just waiting. So if you guys are looking to take that market flow V2, looks like it would have filled and hit TP already. So right here, if you took it at the 600 mark, like I just told you guys, it looks like if you went for the 10 points, it already pushed down and hit TP there. So they're just quick entries, come down, fill, go straight to TP. If you took that right there as a market flow. Again, this is just going to be like the first, I think this is the first test of it actually. So I probably just use this as a confirmation, but again, price here is now going sideways. So this here is, it's going to break out eventually. It's going to kind of go sideways here for a bit. It looks like it'll probably break out eventually. There's no targets. There is a target above, but it's pretty far out. So the next target above is like pretty far up here where the New York high and the London high is. It's about to hit 640 right now. So the volatility here again still has not picked up, guys. I was really hoping that we're going into NFP, so the volatility would pick back up and we'd be going back into more of a directional market. But it's looking like we're going to be stuck in this range for the next couple days, maybe. I mean, we'll see. There's no telling what's going to happen over the next 2 days. The only reason I say that is because looking at the news for today or for this week, there's not very much news. So we have like a medium impact news here at 7:30. It's not really going to affect the market too much. We have good trades balance tomorrow, which is not going to affect it that much either. Jolt's job openings may slightly affect the market. But other than that, it's kind of flat until Thursday. So Joel's job opening is going to be like the first real news event for NFP week. And then over here, ADP employment change as well. And then after that, Thursday is going to be the real news events right here. Thursday and Friday, the high impact stuff. See what Stanley said.
Order filled.
Like what?
Order filled.
What happened with my? It's weird. So for a couple of my accounts here, let me check real quick. That was weird. For like two of my accounts, for some reason, they just closed. The other accounts are fine though. So I'm still in the position right now, guys, for the breakout. But for some reason, two of
Order
them.
filled.
Let me see what's going on. I didn't hit my stop loss yet. So my breakout's still running right now. I mean, it's getting close to the stop loss. It's where my Apex accounts are still running. I mean, it's probably gonna hit my stop loss.
Order filled.
I think it was because of the entry point. Okay, so I got stopped out on the breakout today, unfortunately.
Stop filled.
There you go, stop fill. So the yeah, unfortunately the breakout here did not hit. I think it was because of the slippage. So lately with Apex, I don't know what's been going on with it, but I've been having I can understand from the big candle, but like today there wasn't a huge candle on open right here. The 629 candle was like slightly big, but it wasn't like huge. But I've been getting hit with a lot of slippage. So if you guys have been trading, or I don't know, I heard a couple of you guys had the same issue. Jonathan said you've been having the issue where like it's off by like 20 points. I think Vince also said it too. It's because of the high volatility, but for some reason today the volatility wasn't that high. I'm assuming that's why those got closed out because I copied the TP stop loss to the other accounts, but they all kind of lost a little less. Some of them lost full TP, but most of them lost like partial. Well, still full, but not as bad. So for my main account, I lost a full TP on that. So that one was like 1,500. The other accounts over here on Apex, it was like 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, and 1,300. So yeah, it's all good. I mean, it's not the way I wanted to kick off the week, but it's all part of the long-term plan here. So right now, currently for the month, we're still up by like one net win, but I'm hoping the next couple of days are going to be straight wins because otherwise I'm going to go into negative territory for the month of October. So for the month of October, um, here, let's see. Yeah, for the month of October, we are currently, and there's no entries here right now, guys. I'll look for the next entry. So the next market flow V2 is going to be right here at the 640 mark, right here. And price is still far from it. So let me give you guys the stats real quick for October. So week one, we were +3 net wins. Week two, -1 net loss. Week three, break even. Week four, net loss. So we're currently right now, we're in week five. We have one net loss. So we're about like at break even right now, or one net win actually. This was for. So we're currently at one net win for the month so far. Unfortunately, the past 3 weeks, as you guys can see right here, they've been kind of just like sideways. We had a net loss on week two, break even, net loss last week. And then right now we're currently at one net loss for Monday. I'm hoping the next 3 days are going to be, you're going to hit basically the win streak again, because like we had on week one was NFP week. So week one over here was NFP week. Again, we're in NFP week this week. So I'm hoping it's going to be the same thing for week five. Otherwise, I'm going to be cutting into the negative territory for October, which is not what I was hoping for. So week five over here, we're currently one net loss, 4 trading days to go. Right there. So this one over here, so yeah, these are the stats so far for October. So if you guys are looking to take the market flow V2, looks like it's about to, or unless it got filled already, right there. But again, like these past couple of weeks have just been sideways. So unfortunately, like the first week was directional for NFP. This week again is NFP. So we're hoping that this week's going to be more directional. But for the past 3 weeks, it's just been a sideways market. So we'll see what happens here. All right, so I'll take this off right here. Again, if you guys are looking to take the market flow V2, it looks like the entry right there got filled already. It got filled and it looks like it probably already got hit. When it came down, filled, and then pushed back up. If the sell signal there closes, this is going to be one that you're going to have to close out of. But we'll wait for here to confirm. It looks like price is probably going to come back down. Now that price is up here now, you can see that price is trying to make its way back to where it was earlier. I'll mark this up right here as the whole number. Next one is going to be right here. And there we go. This price kind of sits down in this lower area right now. And this month of October was not directional at all. Usually October is pretty directional, but for some whatever reason, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that could be causing the market to go sideways for the most part. For one, the elections are coming up next week, and all the other stuff that's going on with Israel and in the Middle East. So the breaking news for today was let's check. So it's a stock futures rise here, and then the main things to focus on that what's being focused on is, of course, the elections, and then the the retaliation attack from Israel. It's not on this one, but it's on Bloomberg. Let's go back to the charts real quick. All right, so if you guys took that level right there that I mentioned, the 630 mark right here, it looks like it already got filled. So two of the market flows for today hit. This one over here hit earlier. And then this one over here as well for about 10 points or so. So these two right there hit, that one hit, this one right here hit as well. If you guys are looking to take another entry here for market flow, the next entry is going to happen right here at the 640 mark. So your pending order would be waiting right here at 640. So right there, it looks like it filled again. And it looks like it's about to hit TP right there. Full TP right there. So if you guys took any of the market flow entries right here, the first one happened right here, second one happened right there, third one happened right here, all three back-to-back wins. Yeah, Oscar said price action just has really been really ugly all around. Yeah, no, same here. I agree with you. The price action for the past 3 weeks it's just been all over the place. It hasn't been very smooth at all. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, that's just how the market's been for the past couple of weeks. I was expecting there to be more direction because whenever we trade October, it's usually pretty directional. But for this month, or this year actually, it's been pretty choppy. The price action is just kind of all over the place. I mean, if you guys want to take these market flow V2s, like I said, you could have waited for the first one here to kind of play through and then take the next one that next ones that come up. So like this one over here kind of was the tester because price kind of went up, retraced, hit. And then for these over here, these are the ones that are now kind of pushing through again as we follow through with the direction of price. So if you guys are still looking to take another entry, the entry is still going to be right here at the 640 mark. It depends if you guys want to take the full move. So this one over here is the first actual entry that happened after 640. So 640 was right here. The first official entry that actually would have filled would have been, yeah, it would have been around this point. So if you're going for like the 60-30, this one's still going for that full move. If you went for the 30-30, it looks like it already hit. I'd probably just stick to that one to one. And then this one over here again is going to be the 1030 splits. But it looks like price here is probably just going to go sideways again for a bit. Right down the 650 mark. So like we were talking about before, guys, you just want to be careful with your entries here, especially when the market's not really moving super directional. Right here, we did have the confirmation after the first move. Again, if you want to keep entering them, feel free to enter them, but you just want to understand that at this, this direction can stop at any moment. So I think what most people do for the most part, and again, the position here is now running. If you were to re-enter it again right there at the 640 mark, the thing with these entries here is that you should only like hit it back like maybe 3 times max, right? Like 3 back-to-back entries is typically going to be enough for you to like wait for the next momentum. Because at this point, price is a bit overextended and it's been holding for too long. At this point, you want to wait for the sell signal to come up, give it another buy signal, and then catch the pattern repeat itself. Because the thing is, the market will only trend for a little bit. It'll trend for like maybe a couple moments, and then it's due for retracement. And then at that point, it's going to finally maybe either reverse, retrace, or go sideways. Again, if you're taking the entry right here, it's currently running. But if the sell signal here closes this invalid sell signal, you're supposed to close this for a partial profit. So this here is supposed to close for partial profit. Let's see what Stanley said up here. Stanley said, I don't know why it's saying my TradeAvate login is incorrect. You have to go to TradeAvate and you have to enable TradingView on there in your settings, Stanley. That's probably what happened. It usually resets after a couple of months or after a month or so. After a couple of weeks, it usually resets. So you got to go into your TradeAvate login, go to your settings, and then enable TradingView so that you can have access to it. Stanley said, doesn't Apex allow to trade opposite directions? No, you can't. You can't do that for any futures broker. It's not allowed. You can't hedge on a futures broker like that unless you have a hedging account. So full TP right here, guys, again. So if you took any of the market flow V2s, the first one right here hit, second one right here hit, third one hit, fourth one right here hit. Again, if you guys want to keep entering these positions, you can feel free to enter them. But like I said before, you want to be careful because at this point, price is like once you hit it 4 times back to back, you have 4 back-to-back wins here. At this point, it's kind of like you're taking a big risk because price hasn't retraced yet, and it's going to be due for retracement at some point. So if you want to take the entry again is going to be right here at the 640 until price pushes up a little higher. If it does push up a little higher, then it's going to move up to the 650 mark over here. So yeah, right now it's currently over here at the 640 mark. All right. So let's see if there's any more entries here. Again, the entry is going to happen right here at the 640 mark, guys. And the thing with the breakout, so again, it's kind of like I hate having to reiterate like what the breakout strategy is. The breakout strategy is not meant to make a lot of profits over time, but like in a month period, you're looking for a net win of like 1 or 2 net wins, guys. Like the breakout's supposed to, the overall win percentage of that strategy is a 65 to 68% win rate over a 2-year period. So, putting that in context, you're looking to make about 1 to 2 net wins. It's not a strategy that's going to net you a lot of profit. It's a strategy that's supposed to net you consistent profit month over month. So every month you're looking to like basically turn a profit. That's the whole point of the breakout strategy. So if you're looking for a strategy that's going to make you a lot more profit quicker, obviously the scalps are going to make you way more profit. You can see over here, there's already 4 back-to-back wins here. You guys have to understand the difference between the scalps and the breakout strategy that's meant to be more of a long-term gain. Because that's just how the strategy works. That's how the strategy was formulated. The strategy was meant to make consistent profits month over month. It's not supposed to make you like crazy percentages per month like these scalps. If you guys want to take the ones that will give you a crazy percentage like that, like for example, a lot of these scalps that we've taken in the past, whether it be a high low momentum scalp, whether it be a market flow V2, you can see here that these entries are going to keep triggering. Again, right here, there's going to be one here that's going to, I'm not sure if this one filled already. It looks like it just filled. But you can see here that you'll have like a crazy win streak taking these types of entries. You'll have like, you'll have weeks where you have like maybe 5 wins and one loss, or like 10 wins and one loss. And then there's going to be some times where you have like no losses, right? But again, there's like more risk that comes into play. So for example, if you were in this position right here, you'd probably come out of this whole like set in profit, but and right here you have to close out for a small profit, for a small loss actually. So this is a small loss of 10 points. So basically this would have knocked out one of these entries. So you still have you have 4 back-to-back injuries here, one small loss that you would pull out manually. But you would still close out of this, basically this series right here with 3 net wins. So yeah, if you guys want to take the riskier entries, feel free to take these entries. Like I said, eventually this was going to happen. That's why typically I'll go for like maybe 2 or 3 entries and then I'll stop and I'll wait for the retracement. Now that the retracement here has happened, I look for the next buy signal, look for that to retrace up, and then do the same thing over and over again. Let's see. Yeah, Stanley said I might just fund a personal account instead of using a funding account. Yeah, no, that's why I'm moving towards the hedge fund side of things, Stanley, because the trailing drawdown on these funding companies they're tough to get by, guys. Like most of you guys know that's always going to be a bit of an issue, right? The trailing drawdown rule is always going to be tough when it comes down to like your trades, because they're easy to get triggered. Like, I mean, the rules don't work in your favor, of course, unless you have like something that's really consistent. Like even for the breakout strategies, like the breakout strategies, it's tough to use them with these funding companies because you don't really have as much drawdown as you should. Like if these funding companies were similar to like FTMO where they were equal, like if you guys remember before for FTMO, it was 5% or it was 10% both ways. You could have a 10% drawdown or you could have a 10% profit. That's how you pass the eval, right? With FTMO. That's why with FTMO it made more sense. With these funding companies, like especially if you're on a 300K account, the spread is like it's crazy. You guys have seen Apex's. I think Apex has probably one of the worst ones for 300Ks. Yeah, so if you're on a 300K account, like the spread it's crazy. I mean, it does make sense, but if you have a strategy that will work where you can pass it quickly or pass it consistently, then it does work. But for example here, yeah, the 300K it's so spread out. Like you have to make basically triple the profit. It's basically a 3-to-1 because your profit goal is 20,000 and your threshold is always going to be stuck at 7,500 until you're like in the PA phase. So yeah, no, it's super tough that that they require you to trade that way. But I don't think you could start with $1,000 on a futures account, Stanley. I mean, you could use probably an unregulated broker, but if you want to use a regulated one, I don't think you could really go with $1,000. You could do 1,000, but you'd have to trade the micros. So you wouldn't be able to trade YM, you trade MYM. It's the same thing, but it's just valued a little differently. So yeah, if you start with $1,000, you could probably trade with the micro contracts, but you won't be able to trade YM because the minimal is going to be like one contract and you're going to go straight into margin call if that becomes the case, of course. All right, so looks like we're going to wait here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to get into the chat. Right now we currently have a sell signal, so we're looking for this here to kind of come below and provide market flow in this direction. Now that we have the sell signal, the buys here are pretty much done with. Now we're looking for market flow to come back down to the downside. You can see over here, so price basically just got pushed to the upside right here. Unfortunately, it hit our stop loss for the breakout, and then it comes right back down. This is what I was looking for, what I was expecting. I was expecting price to come up a little bit, kind of go sideways, and then come back down. As you can see, price is still within a range right now. It's not really, it's in a big range, but it's not really climbing like it typically would. Like for in a normal situation, and these are the levels right here. In a normal situation, price would climb and continue to climb over and over again. This hasn't been the case. You can see over here, price climbed up, got to this point, consolidated, came right back down. So unfortunately, our stop loss was just a little tighter on this side where it ended up getting stopped out. But um, now it's right back to where it was earlier. So, we just got caught in the chop right here as price chopped to the upside and then it came right back down. So the thing is, the market is just not really moving very smoothly. It's been like this for the past couple weeks. And unfortunately, this is just like the kind of situation that we're stuck in right now. We're for the most part just kind of stuck in a rut at the moment.
We get filled above the point.
Sorry, guys. I was checking out my Ninja Trader real quick. So, all right. So yeah, I just checked out my Ninja Trader to make sure everything's kind of in line. So yeah, for the most part, my stats for October so far, I mean, they're not horrible. They're at net one win. But yeah, I was hoping we'd have a better streak by now. Hopefully tomorrow. So we have 4 more days of trading. Depending on tomorrow's situation, I'm either going to take the entry or I'm going to or no, tomorrow I'm going to take the entry. And then once the entry happens tomorrow, it's going to determine if we take the entry on Wednesday. So if tomorrow loses, then I'm going to sit out Wednesday until we have a win. Once we have a win, I'll be back in the market. But all right, so price here is back at opening price down the middle. Like I said, price has just been doing this range pretty much all. It's pretty much just doing this range all throughout the session. So it looks like, well, if you were to like look at this from a different perspective, like this is opening price, is the blue line, right? So if you look at this here, this is basically like this whole upper area like never really happened. So if you were to just ignore this whole upper area right here, price is literally back to where it was earlier. Yeah, Stanley said he just hit a 100-point sell to the T. Yeah, you took it from the top right here, right, Stanley? I knew price was going to come back down. This is what I was waiting for when price is pushing up right here. I was like, okay, price is going to fake out and then it's going to come right back down to open, right? It just took longer for it to hit. Unfortunately, it pushed up a little too high right here where it ended up triggering a stop loss. And then it came all the way back down to open right here. I mean, it sucks. It is what it is, but I got to eat that loss there. It's just we're in the sideways market here. And it's just going to keep going back and forth. I'm hoping tomorrow it's going to start to kind of smoothen out a little bit. Looking at the news for tomorrow, I'm not really expecting much, so we might get a bit of a range again tomorrow. We have Joel Chubb openings at 7, so this is forecasted to be negative. I think this year is going to be the case. The jobs data isn't super bad, but it's not. Actually, no, I think this is from September. Okay, so I think this is right. I think that the jobs data is going to be negative for September, and I think as we continue on with the year, it's going to get better. So it's going to start low, and then it's going to start to climb its way up as we get closer to the holidays. The reason for that is because a lot of people hire seasonal during the holidays. A lot of retail shops will hire seasonal during the holidays, and that's kind of where I expect there to be a bit more of a push to the upside. All right, so let's see. Lila's asking, what's the trail he's asking on Apex? It's a trailing drawdown, Lila. It just means that if you lose a trade, then your drawdown follows it. It doesn't reset. Um, look up the Apex website or just look up on YouTube, like the videos explaining it, Layla. You could probably find a lot of just look up trailing drawdown. There's a ton of videos out there that are going to explain it better. It's like you have to visualize it to see how it works. Like basically the way that and this is just a generalization. So for example, if you were to enter a position like this and price goes up and hit your TP, right? If it hits your TP, your trailing drawdown will follow it. So say if your max trailing drawdown was 7,500, if it hits your TP here with no drawdown, you're going to be back at 7,500. The problem here is if price goes up and then it comes back down, your trailing drawdown followed it, and now you're going down from here. So if you lose this trade here and say this trade was worth like 2,000, then your trailing drawdown would go from 7,500 to 5,000. And then it doesn't climb up until you have another win. That's why, like, so for Apex, the strategies that work really well are going to be the scalp strategies. The breakout strategies, it's kind of it's a tough entry for Apex. It's good for personal accounts, but not for Apex. And it's because of the trailing drawdown rule. Because so for the breakout, we're going for a big 100-point move, right? And I'll just put 80 here so that you can kind of see it a little better. So a trade like this is not going to work very well with prop firms, because with prop firms, the trailing drawdown follows it through. So if your trade is going back and forth like this is like the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario or best case scenario is if it goes straight to your TP, right? If it goes straight to your TP or if it goes straight to your stop loss, that's perfect. That's okay because then your trailing drawdown is not going to get screwed with. The problem with this here is if your price goes into profit and it doesn't hit your TP. Say, for example, price goes up, it doesn't hit your TP, but it comes right back down and then hits your stop loss. Then you kind of eat a double loss, because if your trailing drawdown is already maxed out, say it's already at 7,500, it's going to drop right here. And then it goes back up a little bit and then drops down right here. You're going to end up taking basically a double loss. Instead of having like a full 7,000 or sorry, a full like 1,500 loss, because that's what would have happened if it went straight to your stop loss. You're going to have basically like almost a 3,000 drawdown even into your account, because you're going to eat this drawdown and then you're also going to eat this drawdown right here. So yeah, you could do some research on YouTube, Layla, for those, but I mean, that's the basic understanding of like how the trailing drawdown works. It's not good for stuff like the breakout, because you're not quickly in and out of the position. With the scalps here, it's good because you're either going to hit your TP or you're going to hit your stop loss. If you hit your stop loss, that's fine. You're just going to have to, basically stack up a little more. But you're not going to have like a double loss. So that's that's kind of the downside of it. Let's see. CJ said, I hope the market doesn't act weird on Thursday with it being Halloween. The market loves being janky on non-bank holidays that people party or get drunk on. Yeah, no, exactly. Same here. So Thursday is Halloween. It's middle of the week, which is, yeah, like CJ said, it's kind of tricky. All right, so we got price down here right now. If you were looking to take, I wouldn't take any mark flows here right now, but if you were to take it, it would have been right here at the 580 mark. Obviously, I wouldn't take it at this point right here. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a tough call, but I think what I might be doing next is because now that we talked about the whole situation with the prop firms, I'm starting to think like I probably shouldn't be doing the breakout on these prop firm accounts. Because when you get in a situation where you have like some sort of like this type of market that we're currently in, because if we don't have any streaks that hit, it's gonna eat into the drawdown. And I mean I could probably blow my accounts for Apex. Like right now they're not bad. They're still like with the drawdown threshold is about like two more trades. But now that I've thought back to it, I need to recoup some of that drawdown. So hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to for my personal accounts and for the hedge fund accounts, I'm gonna stick to the breakouts with those. So I'll take those entries with that, but then on everything else, on Apex, Tradeify, and Perdia, I'm probably gonna have to go back to like just the regular scalps, which is that was gonna be my plan initially anyways. So I don't think it's gonna be such a big deal. So I think starting tomorrow, I'm gonna have to do that because it is eating into my drawdown. So I'll be taking the breakouts with only my personal account and my hedge fund accounts, and then for my Apex accounts and everything else, I'm going to be taking the scalps because it's just unless the trades are hitting right away, it's going to be kind of tough to hold on to them. I mean, obviously, you guys know how it works, like I just explained earlier. Because I just thought about that. We haven't really had many losses where the trades will kind of go back. Well, actually, we did for the past 2 days. It's been like the trade lasts like this over here. When you have something like this that happens where it kind of goes into profit and it comes back down, you're basically eating a double loss because price will go up and then you'll eat this drawdown. And the good thing here is that it came back up. So it came down, came back up. But then from here, now I ended up having a full drawdown right here, plus extra loss up here too, because price would go back and forth. With a personal account, it doesn't matter because you don't have a trailing drawdown on your personal account. You could kind of just let the trade breathe. But with these prop accounts, that's where it because those days where you have those double losses, it's going or the ranging market, it's going to really affect the market. Or not affect the market, affect your account. So yeah, I didn't really put that into consideration when I was taking the breakouts because I plan on taking it only for the hedge fund anyways. But now that I'm looking back at my Apex accounts, my drawdown's been getting eaten into because of the range and the longer holds. Let's see, Lila's asking, is it best to hold the trade? What do you mean, Lila? I mean, you're supposed to hold the trade for the strategy that you're applying. So, I mean, depending on what strategy you're taking, yeah, of course, hold the trade, but I mean, you should be holding on to it. If you're taking the breakout, you should be holding on to it to full TP, full stop loss. If you're taking the scalps, you should be holding on to it to its TP as well. All right, guys, so we currently have a pending sell signal right here. If the sell signal closes, you may have opportunity here for market flow V2. The sell signal here still hasn't closed yet. So one of two things here can happen. Either price climbs up and we start looking for some more buys here for market flow V2s, or vice versa. If the sell signal comes up, then you'll start looking for some sells in that direction as well. Sell signal here hasn't closed yet, so if price climbs back up, start looking for some buys here for market flow V2s. Again, we need price to actually climb up, retrace, climb up, retrace, climb up. Yeah, Sam said, I think if the breakout was to hit right away, most of the time it would be solid for the Apex accounts. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Sam, 100%. I think if the breakout was supposed to would actually break out, then it would be fine, right? I'm okay with eating losses or eating wins for the breakout. But the problem with the breakout lately for the past 3 weeks is that we've been stuck in a lot of consolidation and back and forth. So that's kind of what's been eating into my trailing drawdown because we'll have a win, then we'll have a loss, then we'll have a win, then we'll have a loss. But then when it becomes a situation where it's a loss and it's a back and forth movement, that's where it kind of eats into the account. Like I think Friday's trade really ate into the account because that one went into profit and then it came down and then it went back into profit. And then at the end of the session, that's where it came back down all the way. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend taking the breakout for the for for any of the funding accounts. At least not right now, not until the breakout like hits smooth. If it hits smooth, then perfect. But right now it's obviously not hitting smooth. So you have to kind of like play your pros and cons. And the thing is like these prop firms, they do that on purpose because they don't want you to hold on to a position for that long. They want you to kind of just get in and out very quickly, which is why I think Apex was kind of good for us in the beginning when we started to just, do all these scalp entries because it would just now I just have to do calculations for that now, which I mean shouldn't be too bad. So I think if I'm gonna go back to normal scalping with the Apex accounts, it will be 7,500. I'll probably divide it by like 5 trades. Okay, so I'll probably just leave it at 1,500. So 10 or 1,500 divided by 3. It's basically 500 per trade. So 10 times 5 times 100. So I'll go back to using 10 contracts basically. Okay. That's not too bad. I'll put this over here real quick. So 10. All right, yeah, I think I'll do that, guys. So I'll still be taking the breakouts, but I'm only going to take them on my personal account for my Apex and for everything else, Apex, Tradeify, Verdia. I'm going to go back to, well, I'm not going to go back. I'm going to take the regular scalps on those accounts. Yeah, Jamie said, remember the breakout back in the FTMO days? That'd be nice to have again. Yeah, no, those breakouts are good too, but it'd be the same problem. I think for any breakout entry, if it doesn't actually break out, it's going to be an issue for any of the Apex accounts because you need to be able to get in and out very quickly. Like you'd have to be able to just like spike to your profit target. That's why it works really well for the for the other accounts or like for the regular scalps. And that's why you typically go for the 10 points. So looking at price right now, guys, there's like really no direction. Price is still going sideways right here. Like I was saying before, we would need this to climb up and continue climbing for entry there. So like our original like game plan for these market flow V2s is basically between 640 and 7, right? So I'm going to stick to that game plan when I go back and apply the entries over here for my Apex accounts. This is like typically going to be the sweet spot between 640 and 7 o'clock. Because you can see over here past 7 o'clock, price like literally just goes flat. And this is kind of it's basically going to be the situation for probably the next 30 minutes. So, all right. So I'm kind of excited to take these scalps again. It's been a while since I've taken the scalps. The one thing that's kind of been annoying me too is just the slippage with the breakout entries that we've been having with the Apex accounts. So I guess we'll see where this takes us. Yeah, Jamie said I meant back when it would hit quick. Yeah. Well, I was hoping that'd be the case now, Jamie. Like the breakouts initially, when we first started taking the breakouts, it was hitting pretty smoothly. But now lately it's just been kind of slow. So I mean it sucks, but it is what it is. How are your liquidity trades going, Jamie? I know you had an issue last week. I think yours hit, right? I saw it. Yeah, okay. So Jamie said caught some liquidity, then some of the correction. So it looks like your liquidity trades are hitting now that you're putting the pending orders there. That's the one thing that I liked about the market flow V2s is really just the pending orders, being able to set those pending orders and then letting the trade kind of play through. Now that I'm going to go back to that, I need to actually, I don't have to do much here. Actually, no, crap, it's going to be it. Um, hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try to. I just realized that it might be a little bit of a problem for me to take both of the entries because of the I'll think of that another day. I'm just thinking now because if I'm going to be taking the breakout on my personal account and then taking scalps on my Apex accounts, I feel like I might need a different, like another laptop to execute the trades. Or if I take the trade on a different, if I take it somewhere else. Patricia said, Sean, maybe have a mentoring session this week to go over all the scalps, et cetera, with everyone would be a good review. Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, we can do that, guys. Maybe not today because I know it's super last minute, but looking at my calendar, so we could have either tomorrow or on Thursday. Probably not Thursday because Thursday is Halloween. So I guess we'll have a mentoring session tomorrow, guys. If you guys want to sit in on the mentoring session, we'll have a mentoring session tomorrow at our normal time, which would be 2 p.m. Pacific time. We'll go over pretty much everything there. We'll go over the breakout. We'll go over the scalp so that you guys can kind of be a little more well prepared. The thing that I was kind of just thinking about right now that might be an issue for me to take to trade separate accounts on my Ninja is that it's going to be because for example, if the breakout's still running on the position, I would need to have control over my personal account. It's gonna be tough to like bounce between accounts. Um, I'll just figure that out on my own, guys. I mean, if anything, I might just have to buy another laptop to take those specific trades. Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the case. I'm probably have to buy a separate laptop just for the one for Apex and then one for the hedge fund accounts, of course. But now that I'm thinking of it, that was the whole reason why I stopped taking the scalps on the Ninja accounts because they kind of overlap sometimes. Before it was fine because like the breakout would hit right away, but now that the breakout's been hitting like maybe like 3 or 4 hours later, it's starting to become an issue because I can't take the scalps. I'd have to like flip between the accounts, and then my copier only works with like one set of accounts. Let's see. Kim said, "Is there a laptop you recommend? About to buy a new one and looking for recommendations." Um, Nothing specific, Kim. I would probably recommend just getting a gaming laptop, whatever type of gaming laptop you could find that's like decently priced. Because you don't really need much power to run NinjaTrader. It's just I think it's up to preference, like with your screen. Like for me, I like having a bigger screen. Um, Let me see if I could find my laptop one here. I know I posted it before. Trying to think. Micro. Micro seven. Yeah, let me see if I can find my laptop on here. There's no entries right now, guys. If you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, next entry is going to happen right here at the 620 mark. Like I said before, guys, I'm probably going to stick to my game plan where I only stick to entries between 640 and 7 o'clock. If you guys want to take more entries, feel free, but I'll I'll mark these up here as price continues to, obviously bounce around through here. So I think your best option would probably be if you have a Costco account. I think Costco you could get one for like pretty decently priced. I think this might be the one I got. No, not this one. Let's call them favorites. Oh, it's actually on sale now. I don't think it's this one. It might be this one right. Let's see. It looks like it. Okay, so I'm just gonna send this one to you right now, Kim. So this one over here, it's similar to mine, but mine just has higher specs, and it's on sale right now. I don't think this is near you, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to ship this. But basically, this is the laptop that I got. I only execute trades on this laptop. So I don't actually do anything on the laptop. I just have NinjaTrader that runs on it, and then I have Discord on there as well. Um, but yeah, basically this is the laptop that I have. It just has higher specs. So like I have more memory and more data and a better video card and stuff like that, but it's not really necessary. So if you want to get the one that I have, this is the one that I have. You can probably look for it at different stores. Um, Otherwise, any gaming laptop will really work. So you can go to Costco. I think Costco has pretty good deals, especially around the holidays right now for for a gaming laptop. Yeah, no problem. I mean, this one's great though. The one that I sent you is great. It does everything you need, and then obviously if you wanted to do more, you could do more with it. But again, for the laptop, I only use it for NinjaTrader. I don't do anything else on it. Like I don't play games. I don't do any. You could play games on it, but I don't. Uh, I just don't want to screw it up, especially if I'm gonna be using it just for trading. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to pop into the chat. Looking at this right here, price never came down to fill the entry. So it never came down to fill the entry. The entry is now going to be right here at the 640 mark. So it is right here at the 640 mark. All right, so we'll see if it comes back down. Anyways, looking at our entries for today, guys, again, we had our breakout that didn't hit TP today, unfortunately, didn't work out. But the scalps over here did play through. So if you guys are looking for scalps, it's pretty smooth over here. It wasn't a good entry, but all the trades still hit. So obviously you can see over here, price hit right here at 638, 646, 649, 652, and at 655 right here. Basically, all of these market flow V2s hit full TP. As you can see over here from the clean chart, it's the same range that we talked about for the past couple weeks. Not really much direction. It's a lot of range. So I'm hoping it picks back up over the next couple of days, but not really going to expect too much, of course. Yeah, Sam said, I'm hoping after the election is done, we get more volatility and direction. Yeah, I agree too. Lila's asking her class, can you also show how to place an order on TraderBait? So I can't do that because it's on my laptop, Lila. You could look on YouTube. There's a ton of videos on there explaining how to take a trade on TraderBait. Um, like it's on a separate computer, so I can't show the screen on that computer over on here because yeah, I mean, I wish I don't think there's a way I can screen share that if I'm hosting the Zoom on my desktop and then sharing it on my laptop. So if you want to look at how to take trades, I mean, it's super simple. I like uh, I mean, you just hit a button. It just hit, it's a buy or sell button. That's literally all you do. You can find a bunch of videos on YouTube. So if you want to look up, I'll pull up YouTube right now. Like a lot of these things you can find, there's so many tutorials on YouTube, guys. Like you don't have to learn it from me. You can just get how to take trade on TraderBait, right? If that's what you want to do. So go over here, Lila, YouTube, go to the search, how to take trades on TraderBait. There's like hundreds of videos on here, how to take trades on TraderBait. It's really simple. All I do is hit buy or sell. It's not anything complicated. I just can't show you on my screen because I do it on my laptop and I can't screen share my laptop on the Zoom because I can't execute the trades on here specifically. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Nick? It's been a while, man. Yeah, Nick said at the uns still at that uncertain point before the elections. How's everything been? Everything's been all right. Like I've been I don't know when the last time you came on the live session, Nick, but we've been kind of we've been taking breakout entries basically on open. And I mean, it was good in the beginning of October because at the beginning of October there was more direction. But for the past 3 weeks, it's been like this pretty much every day. So like the breakout would either be running for like the entire day, or it would just it would range for a long time and then it would just go complete opposite once it hits like 8 or 9. Usually the volatility picks up around 8 or 9. It's like it only goes on for about an hour and then it goes back into this range here. So we're still taking scalps, but I've kind of started going to, and the entry just hit right here, guys, if anybody caught that for the market flow V2. There's a sell signal here. So if you were to, actually, you wouldn't even be taking any entries at this point. You would have been done after that first entry there because price came down, filled it, went straight up, and then the sell signal came right here. So there would be no more entries at that point. But yeah, for the most part, we've been taking these breakouts on open. It's about a 100-point move. For the month of October, we were doing pretty good, like halfway through, and then now we're back to just one net win. So we had about 4 back-to-back net wins on October week 1 week. October week 2, we had one net loss. Week after that, we had a break-even week, and then last week one net loss. We're at like, and then today we had a loss, unfortunately. So we're at one net win for the month. The only problem with it is these ranging markets. Like whenever it ranges like this is where the breakout doesn't really, it becomes a problem with things like Apex because of the obviously you guys know the trailing drawdown. It eats into it. Yeah, Nick said it's been a back and forth battle for most traders this entire year. Yeah, no, exactly. The breakout's cool for like non-Apex accounts. So like what I was saying earlier, um, and then you probably haven't been around like I started up the hedge fund. So it works well with personal accounts because you don't have that trailing drawdown aspect of it. You can kind of just let the trade run and then let it go where it needs to go. But for the so I'm taking those trades with my personal account and then basically the hedge accounts. But for Apex and stuff, I think the scalping is you just have to stay with the scalping because of the trailing drawdown. It's uh it's always going to eat into the account, of course. And I was hoping the market would be better this week. But yeah, I can't wait for the elections to be over with. So elections are happening next week, I believe. Um, once the elections are over and we have our new president, I think there's gonna be a lot more changes in the market with regard to volatility because there's gonna be stuff going on like a lot of things that need to be implemented, whether Kamala wins or Trump wins, there's gonna be a lot of changes in how everything's being handled right now. Because with Biden being president, there's just nothing going on. Market's kind of like in a standstill because there's no position in the world right now. Yeah, exactly. Nick said it's stagnant. Yeah, it's exactly how it is, bro. It's super annoying, but I mean it is what it is, right? It's yeah, I mean there's not really much that can be done about it. It's just a stagnant market until we have a president that's going to have a stance. Because the thing is, like, once Kamala wins or President or Trump wins, so whoever becomes president next, they're going to have a stance on regulation. They're going to have a stance on tariffs. They're going to have to have a stance on Russia, China. Like, we might even go to war, at this point, because because everything is going to be different. Like, I think if Kamala wins, things are kind of they're gonna stay kind of similar, but she's gonna back certain things a little more. If Trump wins, I feel like, what's going on in Ukraine, I feel like so because the Ukraine stuff is still going on. Like a lot of people forgot about the Ukraine and Russia war, but that's still going on. Because the stuff with Israel and the Middle East, like the stuff in Israel, Middle East is kind of shadowing what's happening in Ukraine. But Biden just like he just signed off on another, I think, a huge stimulus package for Ukraine. So I think if Trump becomes president, he's going to put an end to that. Yeah, it's going to be different. So he's going to put an end to funding Ukraine, and he's going to have a stance on like what's happening in Israel. So he's probably going to stop pushing for that as well. So we'll uh we'll see what happens by next year. I mean, I don't care who's going to make president because either way the market's going to start moving, but it's going to be very different depending on like who wins, of course. Like I think all of our current stances right now, if Kamala wins the presidency, it's probably going to stay very similar. But if Trump wins, I think a lot of things are going to change. He's not going to want to give aid to like Ukraine. He's not going to want to give aid to Israel. He's gonna have a pretty strong stance, kind of like what happened before. So like before when he was president, he had a pretty strong stance when it came down to like dealing with Russia and stuff like that. So we'll see. Yeah, Nixon change is great. Definitely. He said it's like everyone in the Wild West movie stands up, points their guns at each other. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. Yeah, Nick said, yeah, makes a lot of good scalps. Makes for a lot of good scalps. Yeah, the volatility is going to be key, guys. Because right now, you guys can see that there's not really much opportunity here because of I mean, you guys can see the volatility here. It's barely moving. Like the ATR right now is currently 19. The ATR should be a lot higher for October month. It's uh it's pretty stagnant right now. It's currently at 18 ATR. We're currently in the middle of the session right now. If it goes below 15, that's gonna be super low, but yeah, right now there's not really much going on. Price is just going sideways right here. Let's see. Layla said, I think I passed. Will they contact me? I think your profit goal is 3,000, right, for the 50K count, Layla. So if that's the case, then yeah, I think you did pass. So congrats to you over here. Layla just passed her 50K eval with Apex. I think it's 3,000. I'm not sure, but let me double check it for you. Yes, so you hit your profit goal right there for the 50K account. So nice work, Lila. Just wait. So don't touch that account. Just wait until like later in the afternoon. Once the turnover happens, they'll send you a contract. They'll send you your certificate of passing, and then you can sign the agreement for the PA account. So yeah, just leave it as is, and then they'll contact you. And then once you're ready, you can sign it and then have it transferred over to a PA account. The promo is only going on for the next couple, let's see, for 3 days. So I would turn that into a PA account within the next 3 days, Lila, because the promotion is going to be going away. So within the next 3 days, because right now it's only $85 to turn it into a PA. That's the activation fee. If I think it's normally like 200 or 250. So just make sure to activate that within the next 3 days. I mean, you could hold on to it, but you're going to pay way more to activate it in the future. So it makes sense to just activate it as soon as possible. It doesn't make a difference whether you activate it now or later. Lila said, my heart is pounding so fast. That brain fog from COVID had me thinking I'd never trade again. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, Lila. You can just, so what you can do with that account is you can just yeah, turn it into a PA, and then once you turn it into a PA, then you could just take like one trade on that account per week. And that's probably going to keep it afloat. Nick said, so did we all watch the Donald Trump Joe Rogan pod the other day? I actually haven't. I'll probably listen to that today. Nick, I don't really listen to podcasts anymore, but yeah, I'll probably, now that you mentioned it, I'll probably listen to that. I could see it being pretty wild, knowing him, knowing them too. I could already assume it's going to be super wild. All right, guys, so there's a V1 variation pattern that just came up right here. I'm not looking for V1 variations, but if you guys are looking for a V1 variation pattern, looks like it's currently running right now. 7:43 right now, so we have about 17 minutes till 8, guys. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to pop into the chat. Again, I'm not really looking for entries here. When I go back to taking these scalps, probably starting tomorrow, yeah, once I start taking these scalps again starting tomorrow, I'm probably only going to be trading between 640 and 7, like back to what I was doing before. Because that's usually where the entries will come up. I mean, obviously there can be entries here, but the volatility here gets pretty dead and there's just no need. Like you kind of just have to stick to where your edge is at. And my edge for these scalps are going to be between 640 and 7. So yeah, I guess like starting tomorrow, I'll start taking these scalps. And then when I take these scalps, I'm going to probably be using a 10 contract size, just to give you guys a heads up. So I'll probably be using a 10 contract size on the 300K accounts, or whichever account has a 7,500 drawdown. And I just need to keep climbing my way back up into profit, because my drawdown is kind of tight right now. Obviously, you guys know from these breakouts that kind of been going back and forth. Yeah, Nick said Joe did not hold back, which was rad. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that for sure. All right, so the V1 variation right here just hit full TP, guys. So depending on the entry that you guys want to take, again, like during a sideways market like this, the V1 variations, so V1 variation, CB patterns, and high-level momentum scalps are probably going to be your best friend in these types of markets. So V1 variation right there just played through. I think there was another one right here too. Let's replay this. Yeah, so there's actually two of them that were running. This is the one that was running from earlier. So price kind of pushed up right there. And depending on which one you took, this is also a CV pattern. So this is a V1 variation pattern and a CV pattern. 2-in-1 right there. So it's basically a V1 that happened right there that hit full TP a little later. This one over here as well, V1 variation pattern off this double body, full TP right there. And then there's more entries right here that are also coming up. There's no breakout V3 continuations here because there just hasn't been very much. Actually, there's one right here. The breakout V3 continuation came up right there, 50 points. Other than that, there hasn't really been too many other entries here with regard to breakout V3 continuations, stuff like that. Again, there's not very much direction, so there's not too many to look at for here. The main thing to look for here would be like the reversal pattern until we have more direction. So like right now, we still have price going sideways. But once price starts to move direction again like this, then it'll be a lot more simpler with regard to our entries because we can't really take these directional entries. Price has just been going sideways right here. So the main entries to look for would be V1 variations and everything else along the line. V1 variation, V2 variation, V3 variation, CV pattern, and high level momentum scalps, of course. Yeah, CJ said Apex change your logo. I don't like it. Yeah, the new Apex logo looks kind of weird, right? I think the one before looked perfectly fine. Yeah, it is weird. Nick said the old one looks scammy. Now they have just changed the website to match. Yeah. I mean, it kind of just reminds me of the same thing. Because the thing is, we know Apex from like when it first initially started, and it just, I think it looks worse now. Well, we'll get used to it. I'm pretty sure eventually we're gonna get used to the how it looks from there. Let me check the chat over here real quick. Lila said, "Can I go ahead and start another eval tomorrow? Will I have a different account number for 2 days? For 2 years, I followed you and was a very successful trader. Then plague hit. I'm in tears that from being a student, I'm going to be back in business, back in game. You're the GOAT. Blessings upon blessings." Yeah, definitely, Lila. So you can, if you want to open an account, another account with Apex, you can open as many as you like. They're just going to be, they're going to be under the same account login, but you can just change the account number. So it kind of just depends on like the, you could have as many accounts as you want. It's like you'll have your account right here and then you can change your account number. I mean, depending on what yours is, you'll see a list of accounts on your TradeAway. I think that's a screenshot you posted earlier, right? Let me check yours again. Okay, so you were trading on TradingView. Yeah, on the left side over here, you're gonna have a well, you can't see it here, but on the left side of like where you take a screenshot, you'll have your account number and you can just change your account number from there. There'll be like a drop-down list of all your accounts. If you have a copier, then you can use that as well, but you'll need to use a PC for that to use a copier. Or you can use a TradeAway copier too, but I don't really, it's a little harder to use because you can have a TP stop loss set. Yeah, no problem, Lila. Congrats to you again on passing that 50K count. I mean, Lila did pretty good. I think she's only been around for like a couple, like maybe not even a month. So it's like less than a month back for Lila. She took a 50K Apex account. She pretty much took the trades we were taking here on the live sessions, and she passed that 50K count within, I'd say a couple weeks, if not like just a week or two, I think. So nice work, Lila, on passing that first account of many. So what I would recommend though is if you like the 50K counts, just stick with the 50K counts until you're ready to move up. Because the thing is, I'm on the 300K counts, but those counts take forever to pass. It took me about like almost 3 months to pass all of my 300K counts. So I would probably not move up to a 300K unless like you're absolutely ready for it. All right, so we have a buy signal here, guys. If you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, entry is going to happen right here at the 640 mark. The volatility here again is like very low. So I would just be wary about taking any of these directional strategies. If you guys do want to take them, though, I'm marking them up here just so that you guys can see where the entry would happen at right here at the 640 mark. ATR right now is currently at 14. It's extremely low right now. So personally, I wouldn't even bother taking them. But again, if you want to, it's getting moved up to the 50 mark here now. CJ said the old logo was clean. The new one looks like every other startup company who doesn't know how to brand themselves. Yeah, no, I agree, CJ. When I first saw the logo, I didn't know what to think because I got the email from them that they were changing the logo. I mean, I think if they started with this logo initially, it would have been perfectly fine. But because they went from like the bull to this, it's kind of because the thing is they still have the bull right here. So they should just change this one down here as well. They should just update the website, take off these bootleg videos. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, if people stop using Trade or sorry, if people stop using Apex, I think it's going to be a lot more beneficial for majority of the traders here. I think if people stop using Apex, Apex is going to have to make adjustments to kind of compete with these other companies. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm hoping they extend the promo again for a lot of you guys that are trying to get more accounts. I think they're going to extend the promo. Like it's going to expire here in 3 days, but I think they're going to push it back further because NFP's on Friday, and they know how people like to get low counts on NFP. I think NFP is going to be bullish, guys. Just a heads up. I know some of you guys like to ask that. What I think is going to happen with NFP. I think NFP is going to be bullish this Friday. For some of you guys who are trying to yellow those accounts. I think tomorrow we don't really have much news. We have good trade balance. This isn't going to spike price. Yeah. All right. So guys, it's about to be 7 minutes till 8. I'm not really seeing much happening here. Price is kind of just it's climbing up, but it's climbing up very slowly. The ATR is very low. It's currently at below 15. It's around 15 or below. So I think at this point right now, you guys should probably just wrap it up for the day. If you guys want to keep trading, the volatility usually picks up past 8 o'clock. So you can probably sit tight for a bit, wait till 8 o'clock to pass around like 8:30 to 9. That's usually where the volatility starts to pick up very high. And then after that, it starts to die down again. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, just a reminder, we're going to have a mentoring session tomorrow. We'll cover pretty much everything we've been doing. We'll cover the breakout. We'll cover the scalps that we've been taking, and I'll separate the scalps between directional scalps and sideways scalps so that you guys know exactly which ones to apply and which type of market. I'll mainly be sticking to the directional scalp. So if the market's going sideways, I'm not going to change and hop into V1 variations. I'm just going to stick to the game plan of taking market flow V2s, and typically between 6:40 and 7 o'clock. But yeah, I mean, other than that, guys, I think that's going to be it for the day. We have about 6 minutes till 8 o'clock. I'm not really expecting much to happen from now until then. So if you guys want to keep trading, the next market flow V2 entry is going to happen right here at the 660 mark. Again, the volatility is very low, so it's not one that I would really recommend taking. But if you guys want to take it, I have it marked up for you guys right there. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow for the next live session. Again, I'll be taking a breakout on my personal account, and then I'm going to try to take the scalps on my other account. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do that, like try to execute them both without having to disconnect from any of the accounts. But I guess I'll just have to play around with it and figure out how to do that. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys